Part 8. A dinner party for nobles and royalty. It was simply too extravagant. Hey Kazuma, this is super delicious. This natural melon together with dry cured ham. This seems to be really fresh wild honeydew, it's really juicy. Kazuma, this is really tasty too. NOM. The high-class pudding on the sushi complements the wasabi and soy sauce. I don't know what dish this is, but the sticky sweetness is mixing with the sauce, making it thick but not greasy. Watching my companions ferociously dig into their food, I understood how out of place we commoners were. We borrowed suits and dresses from the castle to dress up so our appearances matched the event. However, our atmosphere was out of place when compared to the other guests. Several bartenders hired for this occasion stood at a corner of the hall and mixed cocktails according to the wishes of the guests. But Aqua felt it was a hassle to go to them for seconds, so she dragged her table filled with food before the bartenders and started feasting there. Next to me, Megumin was hastily filling her empty containers with food. Normally, someone who'd feel embarrassed by this would restrain them. Lady Dustiness, considering that you dislike them, it really is a rare sight to see you at such a party. Era, I'm so glad that I came tonight. Thanks to that, I get to see the beautiful you. Lady Dustiness, is your father Lord Ignis doing well? I once served under Lord Ignis when I was young. Ah, Lady Dustiness. I thank the goddess of luck Eris for letting me meet you tonight. I've heard of your beauty for the longest time, but you're more beautiful than I imagined. Really, seeing is believing. Compared to your beauty, even the mystical flower that blooms for one night every century, the moonlight rose, loses its luster before you. I know of a place that'll suit you. After this party's done, may I have the honor of escorting you? No, sir, your house is probably not good enough to accommodate Lady Dustiness. Please allow me to. Darkness was surrounded by a group of nobles, basking in their compliments that reeked of sourness. As for Darkness herself, she probably had gotten used to such situations, as she declined their invitations tactfully with a gentle smile. Thank you everyone for your warm reception. I'm not used to parties, so I hope everyone will go easy on me. I wanted to ask, who are you? The face of Darkness, who was acting like a quiet and gentle lady, was cramping. Maybe she was having a hard time too. But she was really popular. And those surrounding Darkness were young handsome guys with blonde hair and blue eyes. So there you are, Lalatina. Oh, you're really popular, huh, Lalatina? Your dress suits you really well today, don't you agree, Lalatina? I suddenly sauntered up to her and addressed her as Lalatina continuously, making Darkness spit out the red wine in her mouth. Pwah! Cough, excuse me. The nobles around her all looked at me in surprise as Darkness wiped her mouth with a handkerchief, tears in her eyes. Why the sudden comments, adventurer comrade Sata Kazuma-sama? It'll trouble me if you keep calling me by that name in such a place. You sure are mischievous. Won't that lead the others to misunderstand our relationship? She maintained her pretty smile and said with strong emphasis on the adventurer comrade part. Really, who are you? When they heard what Darkness said, the tension of the nobles eased. Haha, I was surprised when he addressed Lady Dustiness directly by name. In order to protect the people from monsters and out of interest, Lady Dustiness dabs into the adventurer's line of work. Era, I almost misunderstood their relationship to be closer than imagined. Well said. However, as expected of Lady Dustiness' companion, his joke is straight to the point. It might just be a prank, but I'm envious that he gets to address Lady Dustiness directly by name. Very true, what an enviable position to be in. Speaking of which, has Lady Dustiness been betrothed to anyone yet? If not, please allow me to present myself as the lucky man who'd get to address you by your name. No, the honor should be left to me who has been proposing to the Dustiness house all this time. The aristocrats started persuading Darkness again, keeping each other in check and refusing to leave darkness alone. I was impressed by these handsome guys with money and power. They sure were persistent and brimming with confidence. Just when I was about to drop another bomb to tease her. For Lady Dustiness, who's been contributing greatly in recent years, there should be a more suitable candidate. At least, it's not any of the gentlemen gathered here. The man who interjected the conversation with such lofty words seemed really familiar. Hairy body with thinning hair, a huge and fat middle-aged man. Lord Alderp, that comment's really hurtful. Naturally, I won't forget the Lord of Axeltown who tried to frame me and get me executed. Why the hell are you here? It's you. You were the one who teleported the core of the destroyer to my mansion. I ended up having to rebuild it. Before the mansion in Axel's finished, I can only stay in my villa inside the capital. And why's a mere peasant using the hell before me? Address me as Lord Alexei. Alderp yelled at me angrily. So this old man has a villa, how rich? By the way, Lord Alderp, who's the man who can match Lady Dustiness? I heard some rumors that you're really obsessed with Lady Dustiness, could it be? The group pestering Darkness, who was interrupted, said sarcastically. Of course, it's not referring to me. And not my boy too, all right. For Lady Dustiness, leaving her prestigious house aside, we have to consider her personal achievements. And so, there's only one man who's fit to be with Lady Dustiness. Alderp said mysteriously with a face of confidence. A man who can match Darkness in terms of accomplishments. You mean me? Things will become complicated, so shut up. Go over there and play with Aqua or Megumin. Maybe she couldn't spare the effort anymore, but Darkness's mask started cracking as she lashed out at me. Alderp ignored our exchange and said with a smile. He's the man commanding our forces alongside His Majesty in the war against the Demon King's army, His Highness, the First Prince Jidis. Normally, Lady Dustiness will need to take in a husband in order to inherit her father's title, but they just need to have more children and let the younger one inherit the Dustiness house. The aristocrats all had a defeated expression when they heard that. Lord Dustiness, who always worked in the front lines, is a given, and Lady Dustiness, who defeated several bosses of the Demon King's army, is also a hero of the kingdom. Marrying his daughter into the royal family will be a fitting reward for Lord Dustiness. And the couple will definitely produce strong, beautiful, and excellent heirs. How about it, aren't they the perfect match? I remember that this old man has a strange obsession toward Darkness. Did he realize that Darkness was beyond his reach no matter how much he struggled and finally given up? Indeed. The perfect match made in heaven. The nobles reluctantly backed off after hearing those words. When Darkness was about to say something. Hey, what about your complicated relationship with me? Lalatina, are you going to ditch me? ? Everyone fell into shock after they heard my revelation. What are you saying out of the blue? Come now, don't pull such an incredible prank, Kazuma-sama. I did mention that such mischief will trouble me in such a setting, right? Darkness reached out to me with a smile, as if she wanted to lock hands with a man she was close to. I dodged nimbly. Lalatina, think back to our sweet moments together. Didn't we spend every day living under the same roof and even bathe together? Didn't you wash my back? Recently, you've even called me master in a special type of play. Kazuma-sama, something incredible will happen if your mischief goes too far. To fend off Darkness, who charged at me without any regard, I took her straight on, pushing each other with our hands clasped high. Oh, are you sure this is a good idea, Lalatina? Displaying your monstrous strength before the lords and nobles? I'm at fault for stirring things up, but you need to marry someone eventually, right? And you're at the age where it'd be terrible for a noble if you don't marry, isn't it? Young lady, if you show off that strength, no one will want to, Kazuma Dano, what exemplary acting. I'm not using much force, but you're acting as if I am. I wonder what'll happen if I go at it seriously. Do you want to experience my power after I leveled up? You're going overboard with your joke, Dusty-Nisama.